Good morning, everyone. I'm Eloise Duncan, and thank you so much to FCAC for inviting me to be part of this really esteemed panel. This is such a wonderful conference, and it's just such an honour to be part of this incredible dialogue and research discussion around financial well-being. So a little bit about me. I'm part of a social enterprise and consulting firm called Financial Health Index and Seymour Consulting, and we're really looking to measure the financial health and well-being of Canadians across the country as a way of, through collaboration with FCAC, government and financial institutions and non-profits, to help affect positive change for Canadians at scale. So we took the bold leap back in 2016 of designing a quantitative study which was really aimed to fill the gap and the void in terms of the measurement of financial health and wellness and resilience for Canadians, knowing that this is a big issue. And it's just so wonderful that FCAC is also now progressing incredible financial well-being research globally, including with gurus like Elaine Kempson in this regard. Our study is based on 5,000 people across Canada, 5,000 adults, and it's an online survey which was very much designed and informed by our framework, which I'll speak to in a little bit, but very much inspired by some of the best sort of financial health and resilience studies around the world. So we were very inspired by the 2015 financial capability study led by FCAC, by Celestina's and ANZ's fantastic financial resilience studies and work, also informed through Elaine's incredible work, and also through the financial health study led by CFSI, which is a collaborative partner in the States. So as we've all learned, the construct of financial well-being is incredibly complex, and there are multiple constructs within that. We have defined the overall construct through three different interconnecting constructs. Financial health is basically the financial health is about your ability to balance your financial needs of today with those of tomorrow and get through times of financial hardship. And there we measure numerous indicators related to consumer and financial behaviours. Financial wellness is more the emotional aspect. It can be the outcome of all of the behaviours that you're putting in place, and it does speak to your emotional peace of mind in terms of your financial state. The opposite is financial stress. So we put a lot of emphasis in our work on understanding financial stress levels, debt stressors, etc. And then financial resilience, very much informed through the ANZ work, is really around that ability to weather unforeseen life events, financial stressors and shocks. And so in there, we very much look at different aspects which relate to enablers that someone can put in place, such as an emergency savings fund, to ability to weather unforeseen life events such as disability or losing one's job. So I'll speak to our overall framework in more detail, but we see a lot of synergies with the financial well-being work that's been led by Elaine Kempson and others around the world. We do look at knowledge and skills, we look at confidence, and also very much behaviours across the financial services spectrum. So one of the ways that we're hoping to affect positive change is through working with financial institutions specifically to help them better support their customers at scale. And so we also look at things across the four pillars of daily financial management, borrowing and debt management, saving, planning and investing, and also protecting against unforeseen life events. This is where the ANZ work has very much informed our work, and we do a lot of thinking and exploration around not only economic resources and the income levels that people have and income volatility, but also around financial confidence, knowledge and behaviours and what behaviours impact financial well-being. The financial products, services and support that consumers can either seek out themselves and or gain from financial institutions or other organizations. And then we also do a lot of work around looking at social capital. So that was very much looked at through the previous panel. That relates to whether people actually share or talk about their money worries and stresses, whether they are able to turn to their close family, friends for actual financial support or advice in times of hardship, and other aspects. So that's a really important area that we're looking at. And on the qualitative front, we're also looking at money scripts and money fears and some of the psychological beliefs that we have about money shaped by our childhood, which can impact our behaviors without us even knowing. So these are just some of the factors that we look at, all of which impact financial well-being. And we believe, like everyone else, that financial resilience is really a continuous journey of building knowledge and discipline for Canadians. And while people can have quite high financial knowledge and skills, that's not necessarily translating to behaviours. So this is just some of the data from our national studies. So people, again, this is quite sort of echoing of the global research that came out on Canada, and that people do have really quite high levels of confidence around their financial skills. That being said, navigating one's financial decisions can be highly complex and really a maze, particularly when planned and unplanned life events come into play. So what we found is, although the financial knowledge and skills levels can be quite high, a lot of the behaviours are not necessarily as well reflected. These are just a few of the financial behaviours that we look at, but we did actually, again, one of the key indicators that came out around people having to borrow just to keep up with living expenses came out as being a really key indicator for us as well. And sadly, in 2018, a third of Canadians had to increase their borrowing over the last 12 months just to pay for things. And our work highlights that a lot of that is to do with housing affordability challenges, increased challenges with the cost of living, and other factors which are outside of Canadians' control. So as a result, unfortunately, 55% of Canadians, that's mainstream Canadians, don't feel confident that they can get through times of financial hardship. 59% of people don't have access to savings in a case of emergency, and there are a lot of resiliency challenges. So similar to some of the other findings, we found that while financial stress levels remain quite high across Canada, and while the financial well-being number or score can be quite good, like looked at on its own, when you look under the surface, financial resilience is quite challenged. And there are particularly key segments that are really, really more impacted than others. So, for example, women are much more financially stressed than men. And other key segments that are particularly vulnerable based on our work include renters versus homeowners, the underserved, and we actually have a boost of low-income Canadians in our studies, so they are obviously particularly challenged. Millennials are also very challenged, which dovetails with the work and the stats which Brenda showed. So sadly, 38% of Canadians are struggling to make ends meet. This very much mirrors some of the great research that CPA have done around this. And when we look at low-income households specifically, so those are Canadians that come from households with household income under $25,000 a year, sadly, but not surprisingly, they're notably more stressed about just being able to get through the day-to-day. So you can see the second couple of bars. So the blue bar is not low-income Canadians. The orange bar are low-income Canadians with the household income under $25,000. And then we also look at income volatility or income variability. The Canadians with high income variability also have, not surprisingly, much more challenges. And we also look at things like access to financial services, challenges with accessing financial education and support, and also usage of the more predatory financial services. So unfortunately, payday loans are being used by about 7% of the Canadian population, which very, very much fits with a lot of the payday lending work and research that I've led for different organizations. But that money, that number is quite a bit higher for Canadians who have income volatility. So, and those are not all poor people. Those are often people with relatively good incomes. They're just not making enough to make ends meet. So on our website, we've developed a number of different white papers. There are about 8 white papers in all, which we've put a ton of time into to help promote the importance of financial health and well-being across Canada. The last 2 may be relevant for people. The last one we launched in October speaks to the key numbers for 2018 versus 2017. And then we've also been leading work around money shame and some of those deeper emotional beliefs that we have around money and how those impact our behaviours and our sense of financial well-being. So that work has been co-led with my colleague, Dr. Maggie Baker, who's a financial therapist and PhD. So very interesting work which crosses Canada and the States. Thank you so much.